The day before the event, and Mick's bike's still not going. Was Mick gonna compete in the 4-day? Was he gonna make it? Was the bike gonna make it? Was the captain of the ship gonna make the 4-day? The day before the event is scrutineering, and it is a massive, massive day. The Parc Ferme come alive. Everything, it started to become a bit real.
As more cars start piling in, more people start coming in, you start bumping into people, and you start to sort of become part of this buzz. 350 bikes, that's a lot of bikes. It's a lot of people, and it's a lot of camping, it's a lot of pit tents, you know, it's huge.
We're pulling the pit tents out, and up pulls the Turnbull's hire utes, and out jumps a mob of Americans.
Some years ago, Mick had raced an international event and met some Americans. They'd shown a lot of interest in our Australian 4-day Enduro. And so years later, it's come to this, and they've come over to race the Australian 4-day. It's pretty crazy how this particular sport brings people together like that from all corners of the globe.
Yeah, quick introductions, and these guys seem all right. A couple of hours later, we're all standing there, sharing jokes, wetting ourselves laughing, and it was sort of from that point then that I went, yep, these guys are going to fit in just right.
Being my first 4-day, it was on a different scale of nothing I'd ever seen before. I've never seen an event where there's 300, 400 bikes, entrance, pit crews. I've never seen anything like it. It was a big, big deal. No one went up there to finish before the event started. Much to everyone's relief, Frankenstein was going to take the race. It was going to make the race. Watching Mick go through scrutineering was almost a little bit emotional that it had made it. We had made it. The whole event up until this point was the bus, the bike, we're going to get there. So many things could go wrong, but somehow we made it there, and Mick was going to take the start of the race.
You spend almost a day trying to get your bike through scrutineering, but once they're in, it's almost a sense of achievement. It's like, the bike's in, tomorrow the racing starts. Having done like 8 or 9 4 days before, it was actually quite refreshing to sort of see how Brad, Drew, all the guys, Squirrel, how they reacted going into the 4-day, seeing their nerves, seeing what challenges they had, what inner demons they had.
First day of my 4-day Enduro, first day of, I guess, my time of racing motorbikes. Still got to learn how to change a tyre, how to do a time card. How long do we have to work on our bike again? Hey, how do I put my front wheel in? Oh, I've got a lot to learn, and I am still shitting myself.
Hi Mom, hi Dad!
Relief and nerves are two things that sort of come to me at the start of this 4-day. Hitting the button for the first time in the cold start, and the bike had liven up.
The morning of day one, I watched all the guys ride out before me, and I knew that I was the last one. And I had all this time, and all it was inside me just nervous. Will the bike start? Will I get out of here? I haven't done hardly any racing. I'm entered in the biggest race for the year, am I going to see all the arrows? Am I going to make a mistake? Am I going to be out straight away? Will I make it to the end of day one? I was nervous. Don't worry, I was nervous.
Yeah, it wasn't probably until we hit the first trail section, a proper single trail, that I felt happy and at home, and I had a smile from ear to ear. I don't know, I probably could have been the happiest person on a bike that day, to be finally wheels rolling and feeling a little bit more relaxed about the whole event.
The whole lead up had been so much not about riding. It was a huge relief just to finally take to the start of the race, get on the bike and just ride. Switch off all the other stuff and just ride and enjoy it.
By the time I got halfway through the first day and knocked over a couple of tests, I felt like I was finally starting to feel familiar with the ground underneath the bike, and it was feeling good. Yeah, it's fine. I'm not like, look, there's 9 tests today. It's pretty hectic. Yesterday was a bit of an eye opener. I like walking the test. Everybody's thinking about all the lines they're going to take, and then it just turns to bull dust and one line, and you're like, well, go back to technique and trying to ride good. So I'm just going to stick with that today, and some of the tests are going to get blown out again, and just ride clean and not fall over.
Day 2, it was a mixed feelings morning. Mick had issues on day 1, and he had a fair bit to do in a short period of time just to make the track. I was nervous. I wasn't sure whether the undertakings of the work that needed to be done just to start the day were going to be able to be done. You've got a 10-minute work period, and Mick had to basically bolt an engine back in a bike. It's a lot of work to do in 10 minutes. He was sweating like crazy. He was hot, he was bothered, he was working hard. We couldn't help him. That area is him, only him. We could advise him, we couldn't help him. So seeing him get through that, right off with no exhaust on the bike, just shows how crazy Mick really is. So going through the first special test for the day, I get to the end of it, I see Frankenstein on the side of the track. I quickly scan around looking for Mick, but I don't see him near the bike. Unfortunately, I knew something wasn't right. And for Mick to give up, he doesn't give up. Something was out of his control that was going to make him DNF. You roll into the fuel control later in the morning. It's sort of cemented that Mick was out of the race when I see him out of his gear at the fuel stop helping. It definitely took a moment to gather my thoughts that Frankenstein was out, Mick was out, and that Mick now was there to help the group of people he brought together back as a captain. He was coming to make sure the ship was running as best as it could, even though he's out. It just shows the kind of person Mick is.